just further proof that Greg Abbott is a supervillain. He's absolutely a supervillain. He is evil as shit. And, you know, as I've said before, Mother Nature missed. He was put in a wheelchair by a tree that tried to kill him. And girl, we see you and we commend you, based tree. But the reason I say he's a supervillain is he continues his attack on migrants in the state of Texas. And specifically, I don't know if you guys saw this week, Texas state troopers are releasing buoys with spikes on them into the Rio Grande. So like Despicable Me level shit. But like if he was a real villain, because like he's like not, he's kind of like a cuddly villain, but you know what I mean? Like that, like cartoonishly evil shit. That's not it though, because here's a state Texas trooper who is, I don't know if you want to call it whistleblowing, but telling the Guardian that they're being told in Texas to push children back into the water. That's right. So if a child, and specifically they're talking about babies, so that if they come across them in the Rio Grande, they're being told to push them back into the water and also deny water to anyone who's struggling. You know, the like all of those, you know, coyotes and drug runners. I mean, sorry, moms with babies who are nursing at their breast. Yeah. So this is a trooper medic from the State Departments of Public Safety expressing concern over inhumane actions in an email to supervisors that the Chronicle first reported on. The trooper called for policy changes to prevent injury to migrants, including removing barrels wrapped in razor wire. Okay, it's not even spikes. It's not like razor wire. Fuck you, Greg Abbott. I'm sorry. Let's just say that very loudly right now. Like this is, it's not just inhumane. It is evil. These are people who care about families. No, you don't care about shit. You're like, oh yeah. The more dead migrants, the better my election, you know, electoral chances are in the future. Amazing. Once again, deterrence doesn't work, people. There is no halfway mark on this, right? Because Democrats have been ceding tons of territory and ground to Republicans on the issue of the border. Every time, right? It's like, oh, we passed DACA. Well, that means we have to build a higher, you know, more fences or more barriers. It's like Democrats keep on selling out immigrants in exchange for more border militarization. They're like, okay, you can legalize a certain number of people, but then we're going to put rabid hawks on the border. Like, okay. So again, this is a Democratic failure as well as a Republican failure. And I'm so sick of it. And the last thing I'm going to say, because we got to move on, but Biden has a role to play here, and he better fucking play it. It is ICE and Customs and Border Patrol are under federal jurisdiction. So what are you doing, man? Why don't you root out the psycho MAGA white supremacists in that force? That's number one. I understand the Texas state troopers are different. Like, you might not have jurisdiction over there, but the people who will come first, the people are going to be the CBP and ICE. ICE, which, by the way, doesn't even want to exist. Like, remember that story where ICE was like, I think we need to be abolished because people hate us. And he's like, yeah, we do, and we want to abolish you. CBP is completely out of control. CBP is, again, they are like a biker gang for MAGA on the border, and they've been rogue for a long time now. So what are we doing about it? There is a role to play, and I hope Biden can do that, because this is absolutely egregious and awful. Anyway, yay, happy summer. Let's bring in my guest. He is a comedian, a writer, podcaster based in Brooklyn, New York. He wrote the film The Problem with Apu, and he co-hosted Politically Reactive with W. Kamau Bell. Also a bunch of other stuff. Hari, you've been all over. Hari Kondabolu, what's up?
Hi. Nothing. If you hear a child in the background, that would be mine. He just returned from daycare. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just kind of.
Does he go to daycare? Does he like loves it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he like whines while we get him there, and you know, he gets there, and then he doesn't even say goodbye. Like he's like go through the thing, and honestly, it's like reliving. Like none of us wanted to go to school, and then we get to school. All our friends are here. You know, so
Yes.
same thing. I'm still like I'm like still thinking about that Greg Abbott story, so I'm a little like distracted just because like I'm like hearing you describe this, and I'm like, you just recreated Mario Brothers. That's your plan for immigration. Just putting spikes on things. There's going to be like fiery like gates. Like it's just the most disgusting. Yeah.
I know. Or for me, it would just be like the jump in and of itself was the way I would die.
I think I'm sure comics have made this joke, but like if you can get through the obstacle that is the like border policing in this country, you're in. That's it.
Yes.
You're allowed in. You get to stay. You made it. There is no the idea that that there's paperwork involved after you went through hell to get there. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, like, it's a little, I mean, that now is making it seem like Fight Clubby, but it, you know, it really is, whether it's bureaucratically or physically getting into this country is like Fight Club.
Oh, it's I mean, but I think it's important to like, the folks who go through all like who goes through all that unless there's something on the other side of it they really cannot stay for. There must be something going on, whether it's like their family is starving or there's no opportunities, there's nothing they can do. Why would you pay a coyote? Why would you, you know, be stuck in the desert and be willing to risk it? I mean, so the idea that like you go through hell and there are so many Americans here who went through nothing. I don't know why the Jake and Logan Paul are in my head when I say that, but like there is when I think they just like they get to be here.
Yeah,
they get to be here.
Well, that's, you know, and it's said you're setting this up sort of for like a game show type situation where it's like, look, if you can travel from El Salvador into the United States, passing all of these, you know, checkpoints and horrible gangs and then U.S. Border Patrol, you know what I mean? And like, yeah, have an American like or U.S. born citizen do the same thing, have a migrant, and then we just go. And whoever like, I guess, makes it there first or in less amount of time, whatever it is, they get to stay. And if Jake and Logan Paul can't make it, well, then they go bye-bye, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's just horrific. And I'm trying to, I don't know how they keep doing it. Texas, they just like each governor since Ann Richards just gets worse and worse.
So bad.
It's pretty impressive, like how bad. Yeah,
absolutely. And like it's too huge to like, I don't know. I guess I have more soft spot in my heart for Texas than Florida. Sorry, Florida, but I'm like Florida, Texas. I'm like, we can work with you. It's massive. Beyonce's from there. Okay, let's go. Beto's there. I don't hate Beto, but I'm just gonna put that out there. Does that make me a lib?
Yeah.
I don't hate him. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.